Namaste, welcome. You can start laying down. So just spread yourself wide, let yourself relax to the mat. Just melting into the earth. Feel the support from the earth beneath the earth. And take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, breathe out through the nose. So moving or breathing through the nostrils. The nostril breathing slows the breathing process down. It connects us into the parasympathetic nervous system. So feel the belly rising as you inhale. Feel the opening and expansion in the chest, the lift in the collarbones. And maybe you can also be aware here of the head. If you hold the breath, feel it in the sinuses. And then imagine on the inhalation you inhale a bright healing light, and on the exhalation a slightly darker light leaves the body, taking away any tension, any tightness, any worries and concerns. So dedicate the next hour and a quarter now to yourself. This is your time and opportunity to connect to the inner stillness, to let go of all the busyness of out there, all the dramas, the news, the stories. Just come here to the floor. Dedicate this time to yourself as you vow to awaken to full awareness. So as we commit our time and dedicate this to ourselves, it brings a freshness to the practice, a willingness to be here. So setting your intention and aligning the intention and your commitment with your body, your heart and your mind with one more deep breath. And now we can start to move with the breath. So we're going to move with gentle arm movement. As you inhale, take the arms up and over your head. Spread your fingers wide. Spread the fingers and then squeeze the fingers in, like fist with the hands. And then slowly bring the arms back down by your side and let go of the fingers. So again, inhale, lift the arms up. So the arm muscles are attached to the extrinsic back muscles, trapezium and latissimus dorsi. So when we move the arms, we warm up really the whole of the body, the back, the arms, and then the back muscles are attached to the legs. So naturally, even if you're in a wheelchair and you haven't got use of the legs, when you engage the arms, you naturally engage the inner thighs. So moving with mindfulness and awareness as you inhale, lengthen and stretch, and then exhale, slowly bring the arms back down by your side. So moving with mindfulness, feel the air touching the palms of your hands. Gliding through space. So we slow it down. When the movement is slow, we become more mindful. If it's fast, it becomes mechanical. And we just do it without thinking and feeling. One more big long stretch. Squeeze the buttocks, lift the hips off the floor. So while we hold the breath, and now let go, relax, keep the arms here. Let's start with banana stretch, a lateral stretch. So pushing into the heels, lift your hips, shift your bum as far as you can over to the right side of your mat. Bring your right foot to your left foot. And then look down at your feet and move your hands and the shoulders to the same side as the feet. So coming here into a deep lateral stretch, banana. So lateral stretches is not very common in our day-to-day activities, and especially not in a yin way. So this is a beautiful long stretch for us here, starting from the core down the lateral ligaments on the right side. This is where we have the long psoas muscle, the iliacus. We open under the diaphragm, we just which gives us a lovely opening and lengthening and space in the liver and the gallbladder on the right side. So we're going to be here for 3 minutes. So make sure that your body is relaxed. So the yin, the 3 tendons of the yin practice, you come into the shape as far as what is comfortable and doable for your frame. You're not pushing or forcing it. You're mindful of how far and how deep you can go. So we play the edges of the body. If it feels intense and overwhelming, then back out. You know, you've got time, 2 to 5 minutes to go deeper into it. Then become muscularly unengaged. So check the feet. There's quite a tendency here to push into the heels and pull the toes towards you. Flop your feet, give it a good old shake and let them just flop. So when we become muscularly unengaged, we reach beyond the superficial muscle tissue into the tendons and the ligaments. And the world's strongest men, women and men need to retire from sport at some stage, especially after the age of 40, because the body naturally goes into a yin phase. Things get tighter and drier. Our synovial fluid starts to dry up and the hyaluronic acid production slows down. So by holding the stretches in a yin way, softening the muscles, we reach beyond into the tendons and ligaments, and that apply pressure, different forces of stress, the forms of stress, which then stimulate the hyaluronic acid in the cells, and that helps to lubricate the joints. And that gives us back that freedom of movement. Muscular strength is not where freedom of movement lies. So just allow the body to melt and soften. There's no tension, just let go. 2 most important words in the world, let go. Feel on the breath. Let's hold this for another minute. Feel on the breath how if you breathe in, how the waist expand. Feel how the lungs push down on the diaphragm and that massage the organs. The opening here, the lengthening. Opening in liver, gallbladder, lengthening into the ascending colon. Just closing the eyes as we give the eyes a rest. It enhances the sense of feeling and really explore and feel the body. Pay attention to any movement. Good, and now we can slowly come out. You can take your legs wide apart, lower the arms down by your side. So take your time, transitions can be slow, doesn't have to rush it. I mean, it's a bit of an awkward shape that we held for a while. Coming back here onto the mat and just spread yourself wide, like a star or a pentacle. And checking in, feeling the difference here between left and right. Does the right side maybe feel longer for you, or as if it's sinking lower down into the earth? Does it feel more refreshed, relaxed, but awake? Maybe the right hip feels lower than the left. So the rebound is an opportunity for us to pause and truly feel. This is the reward of the effort you just put in. Now we can Take the arms back overhead. Let's do the other side. So pushing into both heels, lift the hips and then shift the bum over as far as you can to the left side. Take your left foot to your right foot. Look down at your feet and bring your arms to this and hands to the same side as the feet. So back into Banana Asana, the sweetest yin stretch of them all. So 4 minutes. So scan your body as if you're going through the various layers of the body. We're not just muscle and bone. Can you feel how you lengthen the skin here on the left side? So I'm doing the mermaid stretch. This is just also a lateral stretch, although my arms are not engaged. Feel the opening in your armpits, the lovely stretch to release and drain the lymphatics. Keeping our lung and our breast tissue healthy. Feel the opening here under the diaphragm where we have stomach, spleen and pancreas. Yoga works from the inside out. As we twist and turn and bend forwards and go backwards, we open on an organic level. So it heals, can help to heal and keep our organs healthy. Apparently surgeons really like to operate on yogis because our organs are nicely shaped and formed. So just breathing. Feel that here on the inside of your left hip bone. Can you feel that gentle stretch? And from there all along the edge of the hip bone, in the ilium into the back. Not often that we stretch here. On the side of the spine runs the psoas from the second thoracic vertebra in line of your diaphragm. This is a muscle that keeps the torso upright and it attaches to the inside of the femur. And that is the muscle that contracts when you need to scrunch down or in an attack, or if you need to jump over a 6-foot fence. So maybe we have a lot of stress in our life, and maybe if you had a dream where you dreamt all night, you have to run away, then the psoas can get a bit tense and tight, and that can cause back issues. So letting the psoas know you're fine, you relax, working on those long tendons and ligaments, and then at the same time as you breathe, feel the sweet opening between the rib bones here, the intercostal muscles. Just keep our rib cage flexible. When you have a flexible rib cage, you can breathe to your full capacity. It's so important. Eyes relax into pools of darkness. Another minute here, just feeling and exploring. Be mindful of any sensations. And you can slowly start to lower the arms. Take the legs wide, just coming back here into the rebound. Feeling sensations, tingling, pulsing. So that as you feel below the skin, that's the chi, the life force. the tingling, the streaming, the pulsing. Pay close attention to how does it feel below the skin. And often when we come out, the sensations is strong just in the area that we stretched. But especially if there was more a target area, more a specific location like the iliotibias. However, they done tests with galvanized Ferrari machines, and they found that currency, the chi, is not just there, it's everywhere. And also, if there is an ache or a pain and in the body where there's discomfort, then the chi will immediately go to that place first before it distributes through the whole of the body. Right, so now let's hug the knees onto the chest. So pulling the shins inwards, the folded pose. This is a lovely pose to do in the mornings before you jump out of bed. This is the reverse of child, the upside down version. If you ever have any issues with the feet or bruising of the knees or cuts, then you can still get the benefit of child by just doing it the upside down version. So you draw the shins into your body. It's like giving yourself a hug. Just feel here the gentle stretch in the hamstring tendon area at the sits bones where the head of biceps femoris attached. Feel the stretch here up from there into the sacrum area. You can roll your head a few times from side to side. It's just softening gently to release the neck. So bringing one ear parallel to the floor and then slowly to the other side. And now we can also rock to the left side, hover here on the edge of the body. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, over to the right. Pulling in the core muscles to hold us here on the side. Back to center. Exhale, over to the other side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to center. And now lift your head, bring your nose towards your knees, just to strengthen and tone the rectus abdominis. Hold this for 3 breaths. Strengthening also the neck muscles. Good. Release the legs, relax the head, straighten your legs up to the sky. And now take your left hand over to the outside of your right ankle, like a cross crawl. So crossing over exercise, toning the transverse abdominal muscles that fold into the back. You know, creating balance between the front and the back. It's no good having just strong rectus abdominal muscle. You need to also strengthen the side obliques and the transverse abdominals, which fold into the back. And crossing over here is a great way to unscramble the brain. It helps to balance the coordination and lots of other benefits. Good, and relax. Hold on behind the knees. Rock forwards and back on your spine. A few times to come up. If you have I'm sure you have soft carpet underneath. If this is not comfortable, just roll to your right side and come up. Right? So let's coming up here and coming to all fours. So hands under your, stay my way. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. So the tailbone up to the sky, looking up. And then as you exhale, round the back into a forward bend, stretching the shoulders, tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, drop the belly, looking up. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And now let's roll around from side to side, creating the same up and down movement, but also create a figure of 8 with the pelvis for the bear. morning, having a bear having a morning stretch, panda bear. And now thread the needle through the hole. Bring your right arm to the floor. So if you can't bring the arm to the floor, have a bolster or a pillow so that you can put that under that shoulder so that it can relax and the head can relax to the floor. Create a strong twist here in the thoracic cervical spine. Now side kick your left leg out parallel to the arm on the floor. So this is very much like a side plow, a side inversion. If you have a issue with the neck or the back and you don't want to go upside down in plow and shoulder stand, then this is another way of getting the benefit of an inversion here. We stretch down the arm on the floor, we rotate the trunk, and we also stretch very much from the left leg over to the opposite shoulder, a deep diagonal stretch. So the head is here below the heart. We get a nice squeeze in the throat area, toning the thyroid and the parathyroids. Good, and now retract, come back to center. And let's go back into the bear. Just rolling around, tucking the tailbone up and down. As we do this movement, we're melting the fuzz. And the fuzz is really what my dissection teacher called the fuzz is the stickiness. When we don't move for a while, the collagen, which help to lubricate our muscles so that they can glide easily over one another. So the oily texture of collagen gets a bit fuzzy. It becomes like a milky cling film. And that is when we suddenly move, that we rip muscle fibers that can really hurt. Especially after a long car journey. Let's thread the needle through the hole, bringing the left hand to the floor, bum in the air. And if you're comfortable here on the shoulder, side kick your right leg out. You can play around with the position of the right hand. So as what I said, is when you sat in a car for a long time and you get out and you pick something heavy from your boot, carrying the shopping in. And then sometimes, the muscles get stuck. So it's good to do a little bit of a animated movements. It really helps us to melt the fuzz. If you have time, my teacher, Gil Hedley, the dissection teacher, made a video, the fuzz speech. It's a very popular video on YouTube if you want to watch that. So create animated movements to melt the fuzz. Good, and retract, come back to center. Let's turn the toes under here and coming to downwards facing dog. So elongate out of the shoulders. So you straighten the legs, move the chest towards the thighs. Bend one knee and then the other, dancing dog. Let's strengthen now again the muscles of the abdominals and transverse obliques. Swing your right leg up to the sky. Bring your knee towards your breastbone. Bring your hands over your shoulders over your hands. Bring your knee to the breastbone. Push into the back heel. And now take the knee to the left elbow, to the right elbow, to the left and to the right, to the left and the right, to the left and back to the right. And here release the knee behind the right hand. Slide back with your left leg. If you have a knee issue, bring your bum to the floor and then just bend the back leg at a 90-degree angle for the baby swan. Otherwise, you keep your back leg straight, you're centered between the two hips. And from here, you can slightly push into the fingers to get your weight back into the hips of the front knee. And then slowly come forwards, releasing down in the sleeping swan. Right, so the main target area in swan is to stretch the iliotibial bands. just relaxing into the shape. So as I said, you can be on the side with the bum to the floor, with the back leg at a 90-degree angle, but take it a little bit away from the front foot if you're in the baby swan. This posture is also known as the deer, but I called it a baby swan because there is 3 variations of swan, and the front thigh has no change. It's exactly the same. It's an iliotibial gluteal buttock stretch. This is a deep compression here in the right hip socket, and compression helps to strengthen bones. It stimulates the fibroblast cells in the bones. This is not a knee stretch. It will create space in the patella behind the knee, but if you feel this on the knee, especially on the inside of the knee, push into your fingers, your arms, push into your forearms, lift your belly button into your spine just to get the weight back into the pelvis. And then you can also be here for a while, for 4 minutes. If you want halfway, you can change and do the baby swan. You can slide the elbows away from you. If you bring the breastbone towards the earth, give you a nice opening in the thoracic spine. And just breathe. So physically, the Yin practice helps us to stimulate the hyaluronic acid. Our bodies produce thousands of dollars of hyaluronic acid. It's the new it thing, especially in the beauty world. It's in skin products. They inject it directly into the joint injuries of athletes, professional football players, because it quickens the healing process. But while we're in the Yin shape and we apply pressure on our joints, we stimulate these cells, and they are like little magnets to water molecules. So the hyaluronic acid has the ability to attract 1,000 times their own body mass of water, and that creates these rivers that flows through our fascia. And the fascia is the tendons and ligaments. And every muscle has a bag of fascia, or like a fascial bag around the muscles. Every cell is made up of fascia. So the fascia is really like the scaffolding that holds the muscles up and holds the muscles to the bones. So by stimulating the hyaluronic acid, we bring more moisture and juice back into our dry, brittle areas, and that gives us back the freedom of movement. Especially in our pelvic center, and this is the center of the body where we move forwards from. I always say this is like the main flyover in the highways, and if it's blocked there, this chi slowed down. So that's physically, but energetically, that water pathways is the pathways that conduct electricity to our organs. And this is the meridians that flows through the body, the acupuncture meridian, ancient medicine that the world is really wakening up to now. And they've done a lot of research and found that these meridians exist for a very long time. They couldn't prove it because it doesn't function somebody's body is not alive. Right, so slowly come back onto all fours here. Come onto all fours, retract your right leg, turn the toes under, let's step back into dog, downwards facing dog. So again, elongate out of your shoulders, dancing dog, bend one knee and then the other. Create waves and ripples of your spine. Slide those layers of intrinsic back muscles and extrinsic back muscles over one another. And now swing your left leg up to the sky. Bring the knee to your breastbone. Push into your back heel like a plank. And then take the knee over to the right elbow, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, and to the left. And now release the knee to the floor behind the left hand. You slide back with your straight leg, come up here and into the fingertips, onto the fingertips. This is where the acupuncture meridians of the upper body start and end. First group, if you have an issue, bring the left bum to the floor. If you have an issue with the knee, and bend the back leg at a 90-degree angle. And second group, you can stay here, centered between the two legs, and then slide the hands away from you. You're bringing your chest towards the earth. Take a deep breath in and have a big sigh. And then just relax. So during the Yin practice, the breath becomes slow and easy. We don't use the Ujjayi breath. You just focus on the breathing, natural breath. You can imagine you're breathing in and out of the places where you feel the stretch. Now the body to just melt and soften. So to come back to the meridian pathways here in the sleeping swan, the main target area is, as I said, the iliotibias, a very tough band of fibrous tissue, fascial band, that is like a tail of the glutes. But it holds together the hip and the femur and the lower leg. And this is the pathway through these iliotibias that where our gallbladder meridian run. Gallbladder is a supporting organ of liver. And they are the two organs that is ruled by the wood element. And the wood element is the element of the spring season. So any outer and inner thigh stretches will be very helpful and beneficial to keep the wood element strong. So when the wood is strong, we have enough fuel for the energies of fire in the spring, in the summer, early summer. So from wood in the spring we move to fire in the summer. And the fire element is very complex. It is like 4 meridians and they relate to the heart. 3 heart meridians and the small intestine. And the wood element is in balance. We are flexible. We open to new ideas and new growth. So just breathing and relaxing. Any time if you feel this is too much, you can just slightly back off, push into the elbows to get your weight back into your hips, or roll sideways. Strong emotions might arise for you. You know, we are here for 2 to 5 minutes. Just notice what is coming up. Often as we reach so deep in the body, in the joints, we shift the emotional issues that we store in the body. That becomes issues in our tissues. Indecisiveness is the negative attribute from the gallbladder. So if you can't make your mind up, you're easily influenced by others. That's always a sign that the gallbladder chi is a little bit low. And then anger, aggression, is the negative attribute from the liver. So just one more deep breath. Good, and we can slowly come up. Come back onto all fours. Turn your toes under, straighten your legs for downwards dog.
To elongate out of your shoulders, push the hands away from you, lift the sit bones and feel that lovely stretch on the hamstrings. Pushing the heels as if you're trying to push them into thick mud. They don't have to be on the floor. If they are, walk your hands a little bit further away so that it gives you a nice plantar fascia stretch under the foot as well. And then pushing the heels as if you push them into thick mud. Move the inner ankle bones apart. Feel how it engages the inner thighs. And then as if you're rolling the outer ankle bones back to the wall behind you. Feel how that engages the outer thighs as well. And now move your, bring your hands towards your feet. Walk your hands towards your feet. That's hanging down here. Let your head hang soft. And then move your hands away from your feet. And walk your feet towards your hands. Now we're doing muscle work. We very much engage more muscles. As we do the Yang practice, walk your feet away from your hands. Just feel a strong stretch to the back of the body. And again, bring the hands towards the feet. Now bend your knees. So first of all, just checking in with your feet. Make sure you've got equal weight on the big toe side, little toe side. If you have arches that slightly collapse, roll the outer ankle bones back so that it lift the arches and bring more weight on the outer corners of the feet under the ankle, the little toe side. If you have very high arches, bring more weight to the big toe and the inside of the ankle bone, under the ankle bone. So there's about a palm space between your feet. Your feet is in a natural place for your frame, directly under your hip sockets. And now bend your knees as if you're sitting on your imaginary chair. Inhale, swing your arms up for Utkatasana. So let's engage the line breath here. So we're going to bend the elbows now and then look up and look back. And then I squeeze here at 7 cervical and between the shoulder blades. And this very much stimulates all the fire meridians of the upper body, of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Feel you come slightly up. And now engaging the line breath. As you exhale, sit back on your imaginary chair. Bend your elbows. And then look up and stick your tongue out and roar from your lower belly and roll your eyes up. Inhale, come up a little bit. And exhale, roll. Draw your shoulder blades together. Dragon wings. Inhale. Feel this strength here in your quadriceps. Exhale, roll. Inhale, reach up. Come all the way up. Straighten and lower the arms. Good, let's just start with a balance. So standing with your feet parallel. I'm going to step a little bit back so that I don't cut my head off. So looking at the feet, are they parallel? So bringing weight on the big toe, little toe, all 4 corners of the feet, under the ankle bones. And now feel as if you're slightly pushing the feet outwards, if you try to separate the floorboards. And with that you will feel how the leg muscles engage. Lift your belly button into your spine and lift the breastbone. Roll the shoulders back a few times. And now drop the shoulders away from the ears and lift your crown up into the heavens, as if there's a string attached to the crown. Let your hands just relax by your side. So close your eyes. And notice as you breathe how it feels if your body is lengthening and the spine is expanding. And on the exhalation, feel that sense of grounding, letting go. Tadasana, the mountain pose. So the outer ankle bones slightly roll back and the feet pushing out. As the legs engage, the upper body becomes lighter. You think of a ball, if you harder you throw it, the higher it bounces. When we engage with our yin body to the earth, it brings a lightness and a freedom to the upper body.
Slight lift here in the breastbone. Takes a lot of weight off the sacrum. Just like a feather lift. The collarbones widen as the breastbone lifts and the crown lifts up into the heavens. Feel your connection to the earth. Feel your strong roots growing down into the earth, and you bring the earth strength up into your bones. What is in the earth is in us. Feel her calcium in your bones, her iron in your blood, and her magnesium in your muscles. Strong legs. And now let's do a balance. So turning your right foot out 90 degrees, and then take the foot up, either on the ankle bone, below the knee, or in the root of the thigh. It's really no change if it's in the root of the thigh and you slide that foot down. You feel that the position of this foot doesn't really matter. It's about the functionality. We strengthen the psoas, the core on the right side here. We strengthen the ankle and the leg. Inhale, reach up. I think I mirror image you, sorry. Strengthening the left foot here. Standing leg strengthening. Good, and now taking the arms wide, let's flow here into the eagle from the tree. So bringing the opposite hand on top. So if you're standing on your left leg, bring your right arm on top, and then intertwine the arms if you can. If not, just bring the top of the hands together, or even you can just bring the elbows together, or stack the elbows. Now release the standing leg, take it forwards, bend the standing leg, and then, or release the bent leg, take it forwards, bend the standing leg, and then intertwine the legs. Again, doing crossing over here of left to right body and right to left is a wonderful way to unscramble the brain. And then slowly release, uncoil, and come back to standing. Let's do the other side. So bend the other knee, and then have a little bounce here. You have your right leg, standing on your right leg, little bounce to root that foot back into the floor. And taking the foot up of the left leg, wherever's right for you, bring your palms together. So look at something solid and then soften your eyes. Inhale, reach up. So when we do the balancing postures, it helps us in so many ways to find balance, not just physically, but also emotional balance, mental balance. Balancing postures strengthen the vestibular part of the brain, which help us to increase our spatial awareness. Take the arms wide, bringing the arms forwards. Take the right arm on top of the left, intertwine, lift the fingertips. Release the foot, take it forwards, bend the standing leg, and intertwine the legs. So soften your eyes, look at something solid. Now uncoil and release. All right, let's step our feet apart. So today I would like to share with you the walking the dragon flow. So I'll just demonstrate once. So we're just going to move from side to side. And then we're going to the second round, just in a warrior flow. We're going to lean in, come on the back of the tip of the back toe. We're going to do that twice. And then the third time as we turn to the side, we're going to lean in till you're ready to lift the back leg off the floor as dragon take flight. And then from here, we're going to bend the standing leg. We're going to come into the dragon twist. And then lower the hand and do a few push-ups in the gecko. Right, so we're going to do that on both sides. So standing with your feet wide, take the arms wide. We can come into the open horse. Just bend one knee and then the other, little shift from side to side, strengthening the quads and the adductors. Get ready. Dragon is just warming up its wings. It creates arm movements with the arms, so like Mexican waves if you wish. Upper body gentle movements awaken the chi through the upper body meridians. Now we're going to pivot and tilt. So I'm not going to mirror image you because I have two left hands. So we're going to turn towards your right side. Pivot and tilt on the toes and the heels. Lift the back heel off. Square your hips to the short side of your mat. And then reach out with the hands in the opposite direction. Dragon just warming up its wings. Come back to center. Turning to the other side. Turning to the left, lift the right heel and reach out. Come back to center. Turn to the right. And now this time bend the front leg and lean in. Really leaning forward. Spread your wings. Come onto the tip of the back toes. Inhale to center. And turn to the left. Reaching and leaning in. Come back to center. Now dragon's going to take flight, so you're going to lean in, and if you're ready, you come into Virasana free. So you bring all the weight on the front leg, you lift the back leg off the floor and fly. So focusing on something solid on the floor. So when we fix our eyes, it helps us to maintain the balance. Bend the standing leg, bring the left hand to the inside of the knee and twist towards your knee. And now you can lower the hand behind you, and as if you're bringing all the love in the world back into the room, into your heart. Let's do 3. Love gathering with our wings. So reach behind you, sweeping forwards, bring the hand back to the heart. And exhale, reach behind you, reaching forwards, bring the hand back to the heart. And then straighten the front leg, just hanging in the ostrich. And bend it again and come into the gecko. So 2 or 3 push-ups here in the gecko. So bend the elbows, listen to the earth with your right ear. Exhale, bend, inhale, lift. Exhale, bend, inhale, lift. Strengthening the upper body. A nice strong stretch for the back hip flexor. Exhale, bend, inhale, lift. Straighten the front leg, walk your hands back to center. As hanging here, take your arms behind you. As the drinking dragon, and then bend the knees, swing your arms up for rocking horse. Exhale, dive down, drinking dragon. Swing your wings behind you. Inhale. Remember throughout the yang flows, your feet and hands, they're exploring, they're free to lift and move. We're not getting stuck anywhere. Free flow. As they say in Taoism, the watercourse way. Inhale, reach up, the arms wide, and come back into the open horse. So we say the open dragon. Just shift your weight from side to side. And now we're going to turn to the left. Pivot and tilt on your toes and your heels. Lift the back heel off the floor. Square your hips to the short side of your mat. And push out of your arms. Keep your torso perpendicular this round. Feel the stretch of the back hip flexor. Inhale, retract, exhale. Reach, sink through that back hip flexor. Inhale, retract. Now we're going to lean in as we turn to the left. You bend the front knee, you lean in. Try to reach, spread your wings wide. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. And now we're going to take flight again. So you're leaning in. You lift the back heel. Come on the back toes. Bring your weight forwards over the front leg, straighten the front leg and fly. Good, and now bend, if you're reaching out, you bend the standing leg, bring your right hand to the inside of the knee and you twist towards the knee. And then take the arm behind you, sweep your wing forwards, bring it to your heart. Exhale, reach out, gather all the love in the world, bring it back into your heart. And once more, 3 times. Bring the love back into the room, into your heart. And now straighten your front leg, hanging in the ostrich. And again, bend the front leg, and hands to the inside of the front leg. And let's do 3 to 5 push-ups in the gecko. So bend the elbows, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend.
Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. Maybe 2 more for luck. Exhale. And straighten the front leg. Walk your hands back to center. Hanging down again here. This time you can just hang down. Just catch your breath. And let's twist. So keep the left hand down. Raise the right arm up. Twist to the right. Exhale, lower your hand. And twist to the left. Exhale, lower the hand. Let's do the drinking dragon again. So take your arms behind you. But before you drink, just interlace the fingers. Roll the collarbones back and look up to the screen. Exhale, release, fold forwards. Release the fingers. So drinking dragon, bend your knees, swing your arms up for rocking horse. Exhale, dive down, drinking bird. Inhale, rocking horse. Exhale, drinking bird. Inhale, rocking horse. And back into the open horse. Shift your weight. Warm your wings up. Get ready for another journey, another dragon walk. Right, so we're going to pivot and tilt to the right. Lift the back heel, feet are not stuck, you're free flow. Bend the standing leg, keep the front leg, keep the torso perpendicular, stretch the hip flexor and spread your arms wide. Inhale to center. Mindful slow movements with the arms. Pivot and tilt to the left. Bend the left knee and reach out. Inhale to center. Turn to the right. This time we're going to lean in, bend the front leg and spread your wings wide. Inhale to center. Turning and reach out. Bend the front knee, reach out, weight over the front leg and back to center. And this time you can fly to the right. So you come into the leaning in, lift bring the weight onto the front leg, lift the back heel, tip of the toes of the back leg. When you're ready, straighten the front leg and fly. Focus your eyes, something solid. Reaching out, push into the back toes or the heel, what works for you. And then bring your hand to the inside of the front leg. As you bend the front knee, dragon twist to the knee. Lower the arm behind you, sweep your wing forwards. Bring it to your heart. Exhale, reaching out. Inhale. Bring it to your heart. Exhale, reaching out. You can roll onto the outer edge of the back foot if you wish. Gather. Last time. Gather. And coming to the gecko. So bending, keep the front knee bent this time and just bend the elbows. Listen to the earth of your right ear. Straighten and exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. Once more. Straighten the front leg, hanging down in the ostrich. And now walking your hands to center. Let's drink water again. So take your arms behind you for the drinking dragon. Bend your knees. Reaching up. Exhale. Folding forwards. Arms behind you. Inhale. Reaching up. So head below the heart below the head. Great way to strengthen the increase the circulation. And your arm movement. Activate the chi and the life force. Inhale. Reaching up. And once more. Exhale. Inhale. And up and back into the open horse. Just shifting our weight from side to side. Now we're going to turn to the left. So pivot and tilt and toes in your heels. Lift the back heel, bend the left knee. Keep the torso perpendicular as you reach out. Draw back to center. Exhale. Reach. Inhale. To center, turn to the left, leaning in. Leaning in, leaning in.
Come back to center. Exhale, leaning into the right. And come back to center. And now we're going to fly. So leaning in, lift the back leg off the floor, straighten the standing leg. And fly. Good, bend the front knee, bring the back foot to the floor. The right hand to the inside of the knee, twist towards your knee. Lower the arm behind you. Sweep your wing forwards, bring it to your heart. Exhale, reach back. Sweeping forwards. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, sweep forwards. Now lower the hand down to the inside of the knee. You know, you can be close to the knee, so you take the knee out to the side so that it doesn't block the femur. So you drop it out to the side. You can fall into the inside of the knee as far as what's comfortable for you. And then we do 3 push-ups here in the gecko. 3 to 5. Good, and straighten the leg, hanging back into the ostrich. Back heel doesn't have to be on the floor. You can explore with the position of the heel. And then walk your hands back to center. Just hanging down. And take a deep breath. Right, so I would like to teach you the dangler. If you have a wall nearby or a sofa, then we're going to go to the wall or the sofa. This is a forward bend. If you haven't got that, then you can come to the floor and just do the seated forward bend. If you want to do a standing forward bend, then you take your bum to the floor. So sits bones leaning against the floor. So you step about a foot width away from the wall. And then slowly we're going to come forwards. If you're seated, you go forwards as far as you can. If you're standing, wherever the body stopped at your edge, you can fold your arms in the beginning. Take the sort of weight of your arms, lengthen your spine. Otherwise, you can just let the arms hang. So check in with your knees. So your feet is away from the wall. You soften your knees, soften and bend into the joints so that we reach beyond the muscles. If you're blocking to the joints, you do muscle work. So soften and just hang. Right, let's hold this for 2 minutes. So I sometimes call this the kettle stretch. In the mornings when you wake up and you wait for the kettle to boil, lean against your kitchen cupboards, starting as folding the arms, so the weight of your arms, lengthen your spine, and then relax and let it go. Just 2 minutes. So the head hangs here, our head weighs 7 to 10 kilos, and that gives us a lovely cervical stretch, a yin stretch for the neck. So, and if you feel the neck is not getting enough stretch, bend your knees more. Take your knees a little bit apart, so that there's feet apart, knees apart, so that there's space for the chest and the belly to hang between the legs. So a lovely stretch to lengthen the spine, giving the heart a rest again in inversion. So seated forward bend is very much the same as plow. And so it's standing, it's just the upside down version. Check in with the knees, are they soft? In the mornings, when we wake up, it's normally harder to touch the toes because our spine decompresses at night. And as the spine decompresses, we grow taller because we have not got the weight of the head that's
About 7 kilos of weight on the spine. Compress the spine during the day. Just one more deep breath. Good. And we can slowly come away from the wall, or just bending your knees first of all. Just come down into a squat so that you don't come up straight away, because it lowers the blood pressure as we hang forwards. So never do the dangler free hanging. Always make sure there's support behind you. If you haven't got support, then just do it seated. But before we just come straight up, we go into a squat. And that as well is a lovely decompression for the spine, especially for L5 in the sacroiliac joint area. The lumbar 5 vertebra is the largest, very chunky, big vertebra that sits between the two hip bones on top of the sacrum, and there's a lot of fascia in there. And sitting all day can cause a lot of compression on that joint. So squat is one of the best ways to help us to decompress L5. So you can either lean with your back against the wall, or you can lean forwards if you want to take the stretch higher up the spine. Right, and now we can come to the floor. Let's just come onto the mat for a back bend. So we've done a lot of twist in the Yang flow. We started with a lateral twist. We've done our forward bends, and now we're coming into a back bend. So you can either be on your elbows if you want in the swings, but it's also very nice to have support under the rib cage. So your hips relax to the floor. You can either have, when we support the bones of the rib cage, we actually, with bones being supported, the muscles relax more and it gives us a deeper joint stretch. So you can either be on the elbows, you can on the floor or on your pillow, or you can come into the seal. So the seal is to straighten the arms and to make sure that the elbows are not bent, because when we bend the elbows, we naturally engage muscles. So lock the arms so that the long bones of the body are supporting you. If your elbows are bent, you start to engage back muscles. And we want the back muscles to hang soft like hammocks. It's a lovely stretch here through the front layer of the body. And we compress the back layer. So we fire up the kidney chi in the back, making the water element strong, so that the wood element has enough water for the roots. And the front layer of the body represents the earth element, the stomach and the spleen chi. So strong earth, strong wood, nourishment for the wood element. So visualize you breathing in. You can close your eyes from your pubic bone all the way up to your crown, and then let a breath slide down the back. Let's do here for 3 minutes. So you don't have to be on the hands. If it's too much for you, just come back onto the elbows. Another way to decrease the intensity of the back bend is to take your hands further away. You know, this is not about looking impressive in a very elegant back bend. It is about the benefits. Where do you need it? There is 5 segments to your lumbar spine. When we do back bends, we bend from our lower back. And that is about where you want to feel that. If it's intense for you, slightly take your feet wider apart or engage the inner thighs, turning the feet in or turning the feet out. Just make some micro shifts to explore where does it feel safe and doable for your frame, for your body, for your back. And then just hang out there, close your eyes. Visualize you breathing from the pubic bone all the way up to the crown.
And the breath slides down the back. Back muscles softening, just hanging soft like hammocks. So spleen and stomach meridians, as I said, run through the front. They're the body's two vital digestive organs. Stomach takes the solids, the food, to break it down, and then from there send the solids off to the small intestine and the nutrients to the spleen. And then the spleen's job is to distribute the nutrients to where it's needed. The spleen also produces white blood cells to fight off infection and disease. And another job is that it keeps the blood in the vessels. So if you have any abnormal bleeding, either from the stools, from the nose, or in the urine, then it's normally a sign that your spleen energy is low. So opening the hip flexors and stretching the front layer of the body, always very helpful to strengthen the spleen and our immune system. Excessive thinking and worry is the negative attribute from stomach and spleen, especially from stomach, and then that in turn weakens spleen chi. It's time of a lot of stress, we often get a cold or not feeling well. Right, that was 3 minutes, and now you can slowly come down from here. And lovely counter stretch for a back bend. It's always to go back into a forward bend, so you can push back into a wide leg child. So take your knees as wide as you can, so there's space for the belly. Push back into child. So resting on the forehead, you can place your hands, palm of your hands, to the forehead here. So as we take the knees wide, as wide as you can also take the feet wide, and then you're in frog. So frog has got the feet wide. Wide leg child has got the toes together, the knees as wide as the edge of the mat. So frog is not about getting the inner thighs flat to the floor. Some people have that ability in their hip joints and others not. And often you see people hanging here with the bum in the air in a wide leg frog, which is fine to start with, but if you hold this shape for 2 to 5 minutes, it can cause a lot of pressure on the pelvic bone here with the greater trochanter of the femur, which causes pressure in the acetabular bone, which is not healthy. So let your bum slide back towards your heels. It's not about, this is the baby frog, it's not about becoming the big frog with your inner thighs flat to the floor. Just feeling here that strong inner thigh stretch, activating the liver meridians, as which run through the tendons and ligaments of the adductor muscles. There's 5 adductors on each side of the inner thighs. The groin muscles, 2 groins, 10 adductors. I always like to tell the story of the groins. I have one of my students, a maths tutor. Now I'm in South Africa, and we talk about 2 groins. And then one day, this maths tutor asked me, "How many groins have you got in South Africa?" "What do you mean?" And she said, "You only have 1 groin." I said, "Do you?" It's like, okay. I had to change my whole language as I was teaching to this. And then I trained with my teacher in America, Paul Grilly, and I asked him, he was talking about the groins. And I asked him, "So how many groins have we got?" And he looked at me as if I got 7 heads. He said, "What do you mean? You got 2. You got a right thigh and a left thigh. You got two groins." And it's like, oh. And then I felt very sheepish, embarrassed asking that question, because all the other students in the class from all around the world look at me, what's she on about? And then when we walk out of the classroom, all the English students came to me and said, thank you so much for asking that question. Because I think it's because of in British football, when they grab the pubic bone area, they say he hurt his groin. Right, so let's slowly push out and come back onto your mat. Just laying back here and spread yourself wide. Come back into the pentacle, the star. And just observing now, how does this feel? There was a lot of forward bending, back bending. We make use of the full range of motion of our spinal column. There's 6, forward bend and back bend. There is the 2 twist, left to right, right to left, and then there is the 2 lateral stretches. So really pay attention to the spine here. Feel into your spine. Just checking in. How does the body feel now after that active practice and a deep yin practice? Is there any difference from earlier this morning? So checking in. Allow the body to spread and dissolve into the floor. Let go. Imagine you breathing in from the crown of your head and you take the breath all the way down to your feet. Feel a wave of relaxation sweeping over your entire body. Nothing to do now, nowhere to go, nobody to take care of. Just be here in this moment, surrendering to the earth. Savasana teaches us the art of letting go. This is where the magic happens. The body absorbs the impact of all the stresses that we put onto it during the practice. And now the healing hormones can fire off and send messages of healing throughout the whole of the body. Serotonin release, and gamma waves and the neurotransmitters of the brain is woken up, they're firing up. Just feel yourself sinking into the earth. Mother Earth is holding you safe in her hands. Trust and let go. The human body, at peace with itself, is more precious than the rarest gem. Cherish your body. It is yours this one time only. The human form is one with difficulty, and it is easy to lose. All worldly things are brief, like lightning in the sky. So this life you must see as a tiny splash of a raindrop, a thing of beauty that disappears even as it comes into being. Therefore, recall your inspirations and your aspirations. Resolve to make use of them every day and every night to realize them. Let's take a deep breath, big sigh. Feel yourself back here on your mat. Awareness of the support beneath you. And then wiggle your fingers and your toes to get your essence back into your extremities. Take the arms over your head, have a long stretch. Lower the arms. And before we get up, let's just do the winding exercise to release and shift any last bit of stagnation in your sacroiliac joint. Make your right leg long. Make your left leg long. It's a wonderful exercise to do at least once a day. Right leg, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Squeeze your right buttock and your left buttock. So right buttock, left buttock. Rocking motion in the pelvis. This is a great exercise to, as I said, release stagnation in the sacroiliac joint. It awakens the root chakra. And also it helps for any prostate, especially problems, as well as any reproduction organ issues and the colon issues. So rocking from side to side. And now just roll from side to side. Let your feet flop like car wipers. Good. And relax. And you may feel that flush in the pelvis, down the legs, into the belly. Bring your hands onto your knees. Make 5 outward circles with your knees. And 3 inward circles. Good, and now we can roll to the right side. Stay on the right side, rub the palms of your hands together. Create a lot of heat and energy between your hands. And now cup your hands and place them over your eyes. Add sparkle to your eyes. And then you can look up and look down behind the eyes, behind the hands. Feel the heat penetrating into your eyes. Look from right to left and left to right. And then draw the hands away from you and come up from your right hand side. Come sitting, your palms together. So we press into the palms, we connect to the heart because of the heart meridians that runs through the arms. Bring your thumbs to your forehead as a reminder for us to stay quiet and mindful of our thoughts. Bring the thumbs to your lips or your chin as reminding us to be mindful of our words. Bring the thumbs to your breastbone, reminding us about the love that rests in our hearts, just helping us to remind us to open to the compassion and the loving kindness. And then stretch as you bow to the earth in gratitude for her support and out of appreciation for our miraculous human body. Come up, palms together, namaste. Bless you all. Thank you very much for joining me here today. And I see you next week. And then we will look into the flying dragon. Today we've done the walking dragon. Namaste. Bless you all. Have a lovely day.